Hello, this is Pat O'Connor, and the topic for this video is what is a substantial error for the purposes of property tax appeals? Well, the normal property tax deadline is May 15th or 30 days after they send the notice of assessed value. But if you miss that deadline, there is still an opportunity to appeal if your property is, quote, substantially overvalued. And what is substantially overvalued? It's more than 25% for a homestead and more than 1/3 for a commercial property. So let's talk first about a homestead. Now, a homestead, of course, it's a property that's your primary residence. You owned it on January 1st and you have a homestead exemption in place. And if for this property, let's say, for example, it was purchased for $200,000 and the appraisal district valued it at $250,000. That seems like a pretty big error, right? Well, that is 25% overvalued, but it is not more than 25% overvalued. So it needs to be $1 more than $250,000 in valuation if you purchased it for and has a market value of $200,000. So if you purchased a home for $200,000 and the appraisal district valued it at $250,500, that would qualify as more than 25% overvalued and would qualify for the 2525D substantial error correction. Now, for commercial properties, you have to have a property that is more than 1/3 overvalued. So for the example here, let's say that you purchased a commercial building, say a retail building, for $750,000, arm's length sale, normal transaction, and the appraisal district valued it at $1 million. Well, that is 1/3 more than your purchase price. So they would have to evaluate it at more than $1 million to qualify for the substantial error adjustment. So if you purchased a property for $750,000 and the appraisal district valued it at $1 million and $1, just $1 over, that would qualify for a substantial error protest. And the substantial errors occur more often for commercial than they do for single family, just because there are not that many situations where the appraisal district is more than 25% overvalued for a homestead. But where it could occur is, say a home was under construction and the appraisal district thought it was complete on January 1st. May 15th comes along and you forget to protest, and you notice at the end of the year that your home is valued at $500,000, which is based on complete construction. But in reality, the cost of the lot plus the construction that was complete on January 1st was only $300,000. Well, $500,000 over $300,000 is 1.4, so that's 40% overvalued. So in that case, if they misjudged the level of completion, single family would apply. And for commercial, it is more frequent that the appraisal district is off by more than 1/3, as difficult it is to believe. So for commercial properties, it is not at all unusual for property owners to file a substantial error protest, which is tax code 2525D as in David. And there's one other option here, and that is 2525H. So let's say the error is not as big as 25%, but you think the folks at the appraisal district might be reasonable. So let's say you bought a house for $300,000 and you find out in June or July or August that it's valued at $340,000. Well, $340,000 is not 25% more than $300,000, but an extra $40,000 in assessment is probably about $1,000 in taxes. It's no small beans. So you could file a 2525H, and that's an agreed motion with the appraisal district, and if they agree that you had an arm's length sale at $300,000, they can adjust the value from the $340,000 down to $300,000, but the appraisal district has to agree with the motion. The difference with a substantial error protest is you get the hearing and you have the right of judicial appeal whether or not the appraisal district agrees. So 2525D is 25% overvalued for a homestead or more than 1/3 overvalued for commercial, and you get a hearing whether they agree or not. But in 2525D is a joint motion with the appraisal district to correct a value based on an error that's discovered after the valuation protest deadline. Thanks for watching.